Just imagine, what would today's world be like if the key had never been invented? How would we have kept our private belongings safe? The story behind the invention of this small, everyday object is so fascinating that it will truly amaze you. Make sure you watch it all the way to the end. We use keys to lock our homes, protect our valuables, and keep strangers out. But thousands of years ago, there were no metal keys, no padlocks, and no doors with handles. So how did humans create one of the most important security inventions in history? The story begins long before modern civilization, in a world where protecting food, tools, and treasure meant survival. Imagine living over 4,000 years ago in ancient Mesopotamia, where some of the world's first cities were built. As people settled into permanent homes, they started owning more valuable things: grain, jewelry, weapons, and precious goods. But there was one major problem. If you left your house, anyone could simply walk in and take everything you owned. At first, people relied on trust, family members, or guards to protect their belongings. But as cities grew larger, strangers became more common, and theft became a serious problem. Humans needed a smarter solution. That solution came in the form of the world's first lock and key. Surprisingly, the earliest keys weren't made of metal at all. They were made from wood. Around 2000 BC, ancient Egyptians developed a clever wooden lock using a simple mechanical idea. Inside the door was a wooden bolt held in place by small wooden pins. A specially shaped wooden key with matching pegs could lift those pins, allowing the bolt to slide open. It was a brilliant invention because it required no electricity, no magnets, and no complicated technology, just gravity, precision, and human creativity. Although these wooden keys were often large enough to carry on your shoulder, they represented one of humanity's first successful security systems. As civilizations advanced, so did lock technology. The ancient Romans made a huge improvement by replacing wood with iron and bronze. Metal locks were stronger, smaller, and much harder to break. Roman blacksmiths became experts at crafting intricate keys with unique patterns. Wealthy citizens often wore their keys as rings on their fingers, not only because they were convenient, but also because they symbolized status and wealth. If you carried a key, it meant you owned something valuable enough to protect. For the first time in history, a small object in your hand represented privacy, ownership, and personal security. During the Middle Ages, locksmiths transformed key-making into an art form. Keys became beautifully decorated with detailed carvings, unique shapes, and complex designs. Castles, churches, and wealthy homes used enormous iron keys that looked almost like works of sculpture. However, despite their beauty, many of these locks were still relatively easy for skilled thieves to pick. As crime increased, inventors searched for even better ways to make locks more secure. This constant battle between lockmakers and thieves pushed innovation forward for centuries. Everything changed during the Industrial Revolution. Machines could now produce locks with incredible precision. In the 1800s, inventors created the modern pin tumbler lock, a design that is still used in millions of homes today. Inside these locks are tiny spring-loaded pins that only align correctly when the matching key is inserted. If even one cut on the key is wrong, the lock won't open. This simple but brilliant engineering dramatically increased security and made keys smaller, cheaper, and more reliable than ever before. Today, keys have evolved far beyond carved pieces of wood and iron. We now have laser-cut keys, magnetic keys, electronic key cards, fingerprint scanners, smartphone apps, and even facial recognition systems. In many places, physical keys are slowly disappearing altogether. Yet every one of these modern technologies traces its origins back to one simple question our ancestors asked thousands of years ago: how can we protect what belongs to us? The answer to that question shaped the invention of the key and eventually transformed the way humans think about privacy, ownership, and security. So, the next time you unlock your front door or start your car, take a moment to appreciate the incredible journey behind that tiny object in your hand. From massive wooden mechanisms in ancient Egypt to digital smart locks connected to the internet, the humble key tells a remarkable story of human ingenuity, problem-solving, and innovation across thousands of years. If you enjoyed learning how humans invented keys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more fascinating stories about the inventions that shaped human civilization. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.